You know, I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything. No, it really has been a tough first year for you, Mr. President. Gas is up, gas is up, gas is up, everything. Rent is up, everything, everything, everything. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
You see that? Thought-provoking Thursday for independent thinkers. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, everyone. And you are an independent thinker if you're here. You're thinking separate from the mainstream media. You're thinking separate from the alternative media. You're thinking separate from print. You're thinking separate from internet. Folks, you guys are awesome. You're keeping up with what is going down. And there is a lot going down. I did a special live broadcast for everyone today. Sent it to YouTube live as I drove from one job to another. And you know what? I got fucking pissed because someone wanted to make a comment and criticize me. As far as I'm concerned, you can fuck off. We are all doing everything we can. And there's still people out there that want to criticize, nitpick. You and me, us, we are not the problem, folks. And I know you get it. I'm preaching to the choir. There's a small percentage out there that's really loud. They're the squeaky wheels that want to complain. But don't complain to me. Don't complain to each other. Complain at the people fucking things up. That's what I'm trying to do is with you and me and us working together is get it out there. They're the people that need to be nitpicked. It's like, can't you fucking see the problems? You know, and it's crazy, though, because it almost seems like no one's listening to us, right? We're like yelling, hey, wake the fuck up. Politicians, knock that shit off. And they don't seem to listen. Well, trust me, they fucking hear us. They do. They hear us, but they pretend that they can't. They want to ignore it because otherwise they've got to do something about it. And they don't want to do anything about it. So then we end up looking at each other and going, you know, you and me and us and we got, you know, blah, 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 thinking we're doing something wrong. We're not. We're doing it right. We're doing it right. We're communicating. We're sharing. Don't let anyone criticize you and tell you you're doing it wrong. You're doing it right. You're at the right place at the right time, at the right place in history. That's why we're placed here, is to make a fucking difference. And it's difficult. And there are naysayers. And get this, there's also bots and fucking FBI and government agents, trolls, meatballs out there who work for the government as either subcontractors or employees of the government, and they're here to piss us off, to play it down. The same way that YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, X all play down our important messages, our hard work. Don't let them get to you, folks. I get all riled up to make a point of it, but don't let it get to you. These people are not the ones we're going to convince. They're either too dumb or they're already bought and paid for. They really are. Now, let me give you a great example. I want to kind of piggyback off of this morning's video, this morning's live video. You know, I had 10 minutes to myself during the day. I swear to God, between you guys and work and my contracting and everything else that I have to do to make ends meet, I probably field 200 texts a day, at least 50 freaking emails, usually over 100. And it's incredible the amount of effort that the opposition throws on you to try and silence you, to overwhelm you, to discourage you, to upset you. Don't let it do it. Do what I do. Laugh at them and call them shitty names. Right. Again, what do I do on this show? I am loud. I'm obnoxious. I try and be offensive to wake people up. Right. I'm not Alex Jones. I'm not going to make claims about the rest of the world that are bullshit, like a lot of these guys out here, and put up a bunch of clickbait bullshit and try and drag you into a bunch of lies and crap. That's not me. That's not man. That's not Jolene. It's not this channel. I come at you with fucking facts. I come at you with information the same way you guys bring it to me, and I love it. Keep doing it. Get pissed off. Get riled up. Yell back at people who are obviously there to try and piss you off and discourage you. You see, when you get discouraged and you're like, oh, man, what are they doing? They're discouraging you. We are here to prep food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. The same message that on December 13th will be 10 full years of the Prepared Mind channel. Taking strikes, taking criticisms, right here with you. All of us. And we've beaten them, folks. They haven't beaten us down. Now get this. You want to know who's taking a beat down? Governor Hochul. That's right. The Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. That's what she looks like to me. All she needs is some green face paint, a fucking hat that's pointy, and a broom that has smoke coming out the back of it. So New York's governor, she's a Democrat, folks. Of all the times he wants to call, my son calls at this moment. Good golly, kiddo. I told him I love him and I'll call him back after my show. I love my son. He's about as busy as the rest of us. He's like a six-legged cat burying shit in a sandbox for another dozen cats. All right. Must be a family thing. He says, okay, Dad. All right. Get this. New York's Governor Hochul. She's a Democrat. And she has fallen for the shit, the exact stuff I talked about today when I was driving around and I went live. It's like they were taught. They're like domesticated cormorants. They'll swallow anything. They'll believe anything because, well, they hate Trump. And so they follow these leaders like retarded lemmings, as if they can't see that they're running off a cliff. So Governor Hochul is not going after, no. She's not going after Joe Biden. She's not going after, well, Governor DeSantis or Governor Abbott or any of the other governors that are sending illegals into New York and New York City. Instead, she went straight at the illegal aliens and yelled at them. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. That's what she says. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. Why the fuck are they leaving their country? Why? It is only because this country, under the United States government in Washington, Joe Biden, the Democrat Party, the Rhino Republicans, the powers that be, the banking cartel, the social engineers, the mega corporations who are enticing them to come here, telling them, come here, we'll give you money and a house and medical treatment and food. We'll educate your kids. We'll help you sell your illegal drugs. Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of that going on. If you believe that all of these border agents are clean, that all these cops and processors, I'm sure they come across the border, and I know I'm talking out my ass here, but so what? I'm going to do it anyway. Fuck it. They come across the border, and the border agent goes, okay, welcome. What's your name? And he goes, Javier Gomez. Okay, Javier, give me all your drugs. And he like hands over like a pound of fentanyl. He goes, here you go, man. Let me in now, eh? It's like a Mexican Canadian. Hey, let me in now, eh? Take off, border agent. So, yeah, that's, if you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. No one else is giving away the fucking store. Right? As discussed in today's special live broadcast, discussing the Democrat, acolyte, idiot obedience to hating Trump, these short-sighted, low-IQ Democrats don't see the damage that they do until the problem is in their lap. It's in their face. It's all over their head, ear-fucking them. And then they have to deal with the local people who are pissed, like the ones in New York City and New York State. And people like Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams are so fucking stupid, they think it's the illegal immigrants' fault? Or they want to blame someone else in the country for it? The threat they face, though, folks, is more than just a little bit of pressure. It's more than just the potential of impeachment. And they don't even fear the hatred. What I think they should be worrying about, and maybe this is why Governor Hochul is reacting, is maybe she fears the gallows treatment. Maybe she fears real retribution from the people. Governors like Gavin Ass Newsom, though, they're going to follow the Biden destruction agenda. And they're going to think that they're protected, that they're special, that they're gifted, that they're untouchable. That's what they think, folks. That's what they think. And they're too stupid, folks, all of them, to realize that they're dispensable to the powers that be. They are mere political pawns who have been purchased. Look at the billions of dollars in damage that's being done just with the illegals. And they bought that probably with a couple of $1 million here and there. They're too stupid, folks. So I ask this question, do you get it yet, America? I do. I get it. Right? These fuckers will destroy America if they're left in office. And it's only maybe Governor Hochul's got an IQ above a baked potato. And she's like, you know what? These people are getting kind of mad and it's making my job difficult. And I'm tired of hearing about it. Okay, illegals, go somewhere else. No one else is offering what America offers. America used to offer freedom, liberty, opportunity, education. Now what does it offer? Some free shit. I thought they were going to cut me off. I really did. I thought YouTube was going to can this video. Ooh, man, am I still fucking going? 2 thumbs up from Ooh, man. Good. I'm going to fucking keep going. I'm pissed off. Take a sip of icy cold beverage. Chicago. Fucking idiots in Chicago. How much money is it, man, that these idiots in Chicago say they have to spend to create, there it is, pow, to create tent cities? I know Uman's been waiting on this one. A native, well, he's an Illinoisian, and he's one of the noisiest Illinoisians you'll ever meet. Actually, no, he's not that noisy. And he says Chicago announced that they will need $255 million to house and care for illegals through the end of this year. Let's see, it's 9/21. Let's see, 10, 11, 12, 20, 3 months left. Holy shit, I can count. They're going to need $255 million. Their solution? Tent cities. And the man says, in the dead of winter. That's brilliant. That's Democrat thinking. Wait till this winter. Tent cities. This is not Mexico. It is not the mountains of Guatemala or Panama, where, yeah, you can go up to, 4,000, 5,000 foot elevation, but you won't freeze to death like a frickin' brownsicle. These people are going to die, folks, in their tents. Actually, you know what? I don't think they're stupid enough to die in their tents. They're probably going to invade schools, hotels, public places like subways, where it's not fucking freezing. Maybe they'll start doing home invasions. Maybe the mayor, the socialist Marxist mayor of Chicago, maybe he'll demand, much like, well, Mayor Adams suggested, that people of Chicago and surrounding areas allow these poor immigrants into your homes or they're going to freeze to death. They're going to freeze and you should feel guilty for it. This is the fucking situation we face. The ridiculous SHTF nonsense. That's why I put this up here. Hey, I'll take that down so I can read it. Let's see. There we go. Hey, independent thinkers. Think about it. Everyone's like, yeah, I guess 255 million for tents. That's fucking asinine. What are these tents made out of? Gold covered mylar? Yeah, it's the stuff that protected the that's the stuff that protected the astronauts from solar radiation and the Van Allen belts. All of our Apollo astronauts made it through the equivalent of a dozen microwave ovens camped around their head and their crotch with the doors open. No problem. Haven't been able to get through it since. Anyways, independent thinkers. Yeah, here we are. Independent thinkers. Independent thinkers. Ooman says they will be military grade tents and group housing situations. Oh, more brilliance. Military grade canvas. Folks, I was in the RMZ with military grade canvas. You know what it did? Not a fucking thing. It kept the rain off me. Did it make things warmer? No. Did it hold the heat in during the chilly nights? Never. Did it keep the heat out during hot days? Of course it fucking didn't. It was canvas. I spent time in military grade tents. They didn't do a fucking thing except shed the rain off of us as we laid in the mud. Ah, God. They're going to destroy America if they're left in office. That's all there is to it. Okay, I spent 18 minutes almost just beating this horse into the ground. These Democrats, what they have like the Black Death touch. They have like the Grim Reaper's touch, and they just like, I'm going to touch you. Project Veritas. They have now completely let everyone go. They've suspended all their operations. Who's Project Veritas? They're that company, that guy that went out and their top secret, super duper smart guys would infiltrate left-wing groups and whether it's social media or a legal group or some activist group, and they would talk to them until these idiots were so excited about the shit they were doing that they would fully admit to criminal behavior, anti-American behavior, destructive agendas. It was great. That's what Project Veritas did. Well, all of a sudden, there was an issue between James O'Keefe, the founder, creator, the mastermind brains. So what if he's an asshole? Everyone's an asshole. I know very few non-assholes. So they got rid of James O'Keefe. Poof! They forced him out, took the control away from him, and ever since then, the board of directors has been crashing Project Veritas, destroying it. What this demonstrates is how infiltration by Democrats works. They get in there and they pretend like they're part of the show. And then they start fucking things up with their decisions. Trust me, I've seen it in corporate behavior. I know what I'm talking about. I got a degree. Now you're on my fucking list, honey. Well, I know all kinds of stuff. I'm experienced. And what? Failing? This is how they are, folks. So while James O'Keefe and his out in the field workers were doing their business, scumbag anti-American socialists were sneaking in. Were they using the same tricks they use elsewhere? You bet. Buying them out with money. Using control, as in, well, hookers, underage stuff, drugs, any sort of extortion or bribery they can manage. FBI infiltration, it works every time. So yeah, Project Veritas is now toast. Done. They blew all their money, everything. How is it that an asshole like James O'Keefe, a giant dick, how is it he was doing so well, but these other people that we're supposed to believe are so good couldn't fucking do what he was doing? It goes to show you, folks. It just goes to show you how they do it. Now, I want to talk about this one. Maui has been off of the radar. Understood? Yes, indeed. Uman's 72 to, 172 hour window for any story exists. We're about to be done with the F-35 fighter jet story, but before it goes, before it goes, I've got one more critique of it. And the critique is that critics aren't buying the story of this $80 to $100 million fighter jet. They're not buying it. I've got some things that are being said out there. The story isn't gone, folks, not yet. And you can bet your ass that the mainstream media and Pentagon, now they need a distraction to distract us from the distraction, to distract us from the other distractions, which are supposed to distract us from all the shit that's going on. Well, here at the Prepared Mind Network, we hit it on the head. We nailed it. We nailed the topic, and it's been confirmed by the Gateway Pundit, who did a little bit of digging, and then they wrote this on their website. In 2019, concerns were raised by the Pentagon of the possibility that the F-35 could be hacked. Well, let's not look into that. Let's look at the Pentagon's excuse. Are you ready? It was bad weather. That's some bad weather. So we're supposed to believe that. So no wars, no missions, dangerous or not, because it might rain or it could get foggy. There might be a cloud in the way. It's bullshit. Critical thinking. Beep, beep, beep. Independent thinkers. Yeah, here you go. So, I mean, people, just normal people who are thinking. One person, right? A resident who was near the crash site said, hey, wasn't bad weather. It was clear skies and sunny. This guy named Robert Kingsbury, he wrote this. The thing was hacked. That is why the military grounded all of their planes for a couple of days. That's right. Right? He completed this with, I'm like, well, that's a tall fucking claim that it was hacked. But he says, hey, they would have never grounded a plane, the entire fleet, because one plane had a bad weather incident. Something else is going on. Wasn't it Delta? Or was it Delta and United? Grounded all their fucking planes for a day. Just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Does everyone remember that? They grounded a bunch of planes and they're like, okay, everything's fine now. Were they hacked? Did they have a bad program uploaded into them? Johnny Carson. That's right, the legend Johnny Carson. The late night specialist. He started late night TV and humor. He filmed it during the day, but then they play it late at night. Johnny Carson used to say, weird, wacky stuff, right? I guess looking at what's going on today, he would probably repeat his favorite phrase of humor so many times that he would sound like Max Headroom. Weird, 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 wacky stuff. Now, apparently the plane was flying upside down, or mostly upside down, upside down. Here's what someone had to say, a witness. It was inverted, probably 3/4 of the way. This guy's name was Stephen Trueluck. He says, we could see the canopy. The canopy is the thing that covers the pilot, the piece of glass. It's clear, it's reflective, and it's a stealth fighter, but that doesn't mean you can't see it with your eyes. How could the pilot eject into a neighborhood 80 miles from the crash site? Well, wait a minute. Was this pilot that ejected 80 miles from the crash site, was that the same pilot or a different pilot? Because, well, we just heard that someone saw the plane when the canopy was on. When you eject, it ejects the fucking canopy. It just tears it off, gets it the fuck out of the way. Pow! The pilots punch out. How could the canopy still be on? So if the canopy was still on the plane, how did the pilot eject? Is that why the pilot hasn't been named? Because he was in the F-35 when it crashed? How about this question? With all of the woke, stupid bullshit in the military, all of this, let's put every inclusive person out there into a fighter jet because, it's mostly fair that way. Everyone should have a chance to fly one of these things. Was the pilot even qualified to fly an F-35? Was the pilot that was there qualified to fly any fucking plane at all? Or did they just happen to be the right gender or sexual orientation? Maybe the plane was stolen and they're hiding that fact. Maybe some lunatic in the military, because now they're there. And you are a lunatic. You're a fucking loon. You're a bit loony if you don't know what your fucking gender is, or if you think you need to change your gender, or if you like to play butt darts with a bunch of bearded men. There's something not right in your head. You're crazy. So, maybe someone on the flight line who had enough knowledge to get in the cockpit, shut the canopy, and take off. Maybe they stole a plane. Wouldn't be the first time. Remember the absolute ding-dong on Puget Sound that stole a cargo prop jet? And he was flying all over the fucking sound. He even did a loop-de-loop, pulled it off without hitting the water, and then ultimately crashed the plane. Oh, yeah. People can figure out how to fly these fucking things. Yes, they can. He was flying very low. Reports, 100 feet off the tops of trees. That's pretty fucking low. And it's a stealth jet. What do you do? Hit the invisibility button like Wonder Woman and her invisible jet? And he's like, hey, I'm invisible now, and I'm so low their radar can't detect me. Good thing it's a stealth jet so we can't track it. And get this. The fucking military says this. Well, before the pilot had a chance to activate his transponder so he could be tracked, it's a stealth plane, so it could be tracked, he punched out before he did that. I can't imagine him going, okay, this plane is going wacky. I need to hit the autopilot. And then I need to hit the eject button. But oops, I forgot to do the other thing that the manual says, which is hit the tracking device so they can find the plane. Once again, why is the military asking us to find the plane? Well, they said they found it. Was it a Chinese spy that stole it, folks? Was it a Chinese hacker piloting it and ejected the pilot and then it crashed? Geez, all we want is some truth and some fact out of Washington, D.C. and the Pentagon. Sheesh. What did I get, man? I got 3 fucking stories in and my half an hour is almost up. I'm going to go to this one. Victoria Spartz. You guys know who she is? Well, she is a Republican. She is a U.S. representative in Washington. And I really wish she would do more than speak on just this topic. But at least she's speaking on this fucking topic. She is from a former Soviet bloc. That's right. She escaped a communist country, came to America, has made her way through this shit, got elected as a representative, and brings into her office and Congress firsthand knowledge of how communists work. And she has compared Merrick Garland. She ripped into him, compared the way they are using fear of the FBI to the way the Soviet Communist Union, that's right, the Soviet Socialist Republic, struck fear in the hearts of their people through the KGB. FBI, KGB. KGB, meet FBI. She is the perfect citizen and elected representative to testify and scold Merrick Butlick Garland. And this should serve as a warning to all Americans. This shit is real, folks. What they're fucking doing is real. Everything is propaganda. Everything is lies. Everything is theft. Everything is false. Absolutely everything. I'm not done yet, but wait, there's more. Right? Newsweek. It's mainstream media, folks. Just the other day, we had the New York Times. Was it the New York Times? It was the New York Times. Decided to run a piece talking about all the fuck-ups going on in Ukraine. Well, Newsweek said, hey, the United States government has sent $113 billion in aid and equipment, in modern armament, modern equipment, modern missiles, and they've hardly dented the Russian military. Now remember that Lindsay, lighting the loafers Graham, that son of a bitch, said this is the best money they ever spent. I believe we're well over 120. I think Newsweek got their fucking numbers wrong. We spent that money. I believe that Russia has spent 1/10 or less in rubles to stop the Ukrainian offensive and their counteroffensive and their sneak attacks and their bullshit. Folks, when reality sets in, it's a fact that can't be denied. Russia has stopped any attempt by the Ukrainians. Yeah, Russians are dying. Russians are having to use bullets and bombs and missiles and tanks and planes and helicopters. Yes. But do you think they cost as much as American equipment? Because I don't believe they have the war profiteering issue we have here. And don't forget, Newsweek, that a lot of that $113 billion you speak of ended up in the back of people's Volkswagens and their Mercedes vans and was driven and sold to terror groups and drug cartels. Thank you very much, Voldemort Zelensky and Joe Biden. This is their mess. They created it. They created it. And here we are. Let's do this. It is Thursday. And I want to hear what you guys want to talk about. I want to hear what's on your mind. Let's go to the inner circle. Let's hit the bullseye with this one. What do you guys got? There we go, folks. There we go. All right. All kinds of stuff getting shipped in. I can't stop all the spam email as fast as it comes in. Okay. What do you have? Mr. Uman. He says this. Let me get comfortable here. Mr. Uman says, if you're a prepper painting your house blue. I can't believe you're going here, man. He says, if you're a prepper painting your house blue to protect your super secret location from space laser beams, you might be an idiot. It's a great way to let the government know you're hiding from directed energy weapons, and then they can find you that way. What he's talking about is after the Hawaii incident, people were like, oh, there were blue roofs on houses and they didn't get hit. So the government knows and they'll stay away from the blue houses. So there's people painting their houses government roof metal blue, painting their roofs, painting their houses, painting their garage, painting their barns. It's kind of ridiculous, kind of silly. But hey, people will try anything at this point. I think, I don't know if you're an idiot. You just might be an idiot. You might be a redneck. You might be believing things that don't matter and making them a priority when they need not be. I think the priorities are these things, right? Food, that's a priority. Water, shelter, clothing. I guess shelter falls under shelter, right? But not blue shelter. If they don't know, right, who you are, you're doing good. If you paint your house blue, they don't need a satellite to find that. All they need is a plane, a helicopter, or even a drone. And they're like, okay, there's someone who has painted their house an obnoxious blue color. They must have something we want. What a great way to tell people on the ground that you're a prepper. That's if this becomes wider knowledge. At this stage, it's not well known. Anyways, good stuff, folks. Wow. Painting their houses blue. I get it. There's a lot of fear out there. As discussed, Representative Spartz is from a communist country, grew up with that shit, feared the government, feared their agents. I never feared my government as a kid. Not the way that we do now, that's for sure. Maybe you would fear the IRS because your parents would talk about it. You know, hey, fucking IRS. Right? They'll screw you over. You end up like me, you live in a bunker. I had some great bunker designs, folks. All it takes is money. Some people think all you need is blue paint. All right, Mr. Ooman, let's move on. We got Ooman and Jolene in the house. And now it's time for Jane Dixon, who says, the reason I voted for Trump the first time was to flip the bird to the government. The second time, he did a good job. The third time will be to save us from the Democrats. I understand the sentiment. The Democrats under Joe Biden, the tutelage of Obama and Hillary, they have demonstrated the most despicable, the most abominable attitude towards a country that has done nothing but try and satisfy their desires. That's right. The country is wealthy. It was. The country is free. It was. It gave all those things to these fucking people who resent it, take advantage of it, right? So, if Trump wins in 2024, we will not be saved. This is just my opinion. And again, this is about thinking about it. They hate Trump. And I talked about this in my special live broadcast today. They hate him so much. They have indoctrinated everyone in the Democrat Party, everyone in college, everyone in grade school, everyone in high school, indoctrinating that Trump is evil. So the people that believe that, never mind the believers who think Trump is not evil, but the believers that think he is, we're going to have 8 years of anti-Trump. If he wins, these Trump derangement syndrome, violent peasants are going to come after all of us. Right? Trump had 4 years to drain the swamp. Oh, he got some gallons of swamp water out there. He threw some bleach in it and killed some of the scum. But it's kind of, it's so hard to describe. Imagine if you had a 20 by 20 patch of lawn in your front yard and your job was to keep that lawn mowed. No problem. Get out there and mow it once a week. Now imagine if you had to mow 10 football fields. By the time you got done pushing that fucking mower through a couple fields, the first field would already be overgrowing. You wouldn't even finish getting to the end of all of the football fields before the very first field you mowed was needing mowing again. In other words, there's so much shit in Washington, D.C., that as fast as Trump could fire him, they would be replaced with more scum. The Democrats, the powers that be, are so willing, they're willing to destroy their corporations, to go in the red, to waste money, to cut their production, which they don't give a shit about anyways, to destroy this country. That is their goal and their agenda, and they'll do anything to accomplish it. There have been complaints to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the FDIC, to all the government agencies that are supposed to be watching these corporations and saying, when you do stuff that hurts your investors, you're a publicly traded company, you have a fiduciary responsibility to make money and make good decisions, and you're not. Therefore, you're out of compliance and you should have your fucking license revoked. Anyone who's responsible for it, who knowingly did it, should face prosecution. And guess what they're doing? Zip, zilch, nada. Not a fucking thing. So, Jane, I want Trump to win. I do. You know why? Because I want to see this come to an end. I'm tired of the fucking games. Pretending like it can be fixed. It can't. Not at this stage. I have lost faith in people. fixing this problem. I haven't lost faith in good Americans. I've lost faith in our ability to control this maniacal machine called government. I'm waiting. There's a lot of good veterans out there. There's a lot of good patriots out there. There's a lot of great Americans out there. And when they are authorized, when it's go time, there's going to be a lot of dented and hurt feelings out there from these people. And that's why I was talking about Governor Hochul to start, is maybe she's thinking about it. Maybe she's feeling the pain, the bite. These people might realize you aren't going to escape. When shit goes down, hey, is there a guy named Gavin here? He uses a lot of Brill cream. Used to be the governor. Is this Prickster's house? And trust me, there's going to be people going after Republicans as well. I think that's what they want at this point. I do. I think that's what they want. Thank you very much, Jane. Great topic. Great topic. Mr. Ooman, Miss Jolene. Here we go. Ooman says, News Radio also reported there are over 500,000 old illegals in Illinois that should get the same work rights and benefits as they want to give the new illegals. Oh, just isn't that fucking fabulous? Yeah, there was already an illegal alien population here, and they're not getting what these other illegals are. It's just not fair that the new criminals, to be illegal, to be here illegally, is criminal. Criminal. So we need to also spend, what, another $255 million on them to make it fair? I say good. Go ahead and pay for that, Illinois, Chicago. You belly up to the bar and pay that fucking tab. Folks, we're all going to pay. We're all going to pay, ultimately. This is what happens. This is what happens. It's coming. All right, Ooman. All right, Jolene. What do we have next? Do we have something? H12. Heidi has this to say. Maybe it was an Afghani. They were housing them at military bases. Or are you talking about that took the F-35? Took it for a joyride? I don't know. Some of these flight simulator programs that they have, games, are pretty realistic. Pretty realistic. I mean, somehow the Middle Eastern hijackers on 9/11 managed to go to flight school flying Cessnas and learned enough to take control of commercial aircraft. In fact, they could fly so well. They could fly so well that they could make those planes defy physics. They could fly them faster than possible at sea level speed. The air is denser down low, so they can't fly fast. So they have to rise up to that 30, 35, 40,000 foot ceiling, where the air is much thinner, which allows the jets to travel faster. Less wind resistance because there's less molecules of air impeding the plane. If you were to fly a plane at the reported 400 miles an hour, it would tear the fucking wings off. But, you know, when you get trained really well, you can do stuff. So maybe it was an Afghani. Thank you very much, Heidi. Very, very much. And I want to thank everyone out there who have sent kind thoughts my way. I love kind thoughts and well wishes. We need to do that for one another, and we also need to get prepared. Right? My mother used to say, God helps those who help themselves. So get it done. You do it. It's your job. That's what I tell myself when I look in the mirror. I say, John, it's your job. No one else is going to do it. And so I do it. Here we are. Now, before we get back into your questions, and get your questions down below, I need to see what's on your mind. What's on your mind? Okay. I want to talk about this real quick. There's a representative. I talked about Sparks. Another House of Representatives member. This guy is named Troy Nehls. And he had Attorney General Butlick Garland on the hot seat. And he forced him, folks. He said, watch this, watch. It's the son of a bitch video where Joe Biden bragged about telling Ukraine, you will not get your money from the United States government until you fire Viktor Shokin. Who's Viktor Shokin? Well, he was the prosecutor in Ukraine responsible for investigating Hunter Biden. This was the speech that Biden gave publicly. He gave it publicly. He gave it publicly without being coerced. He was bragging to his people he was speaking with on stage in front of an audience that was recorded, bragging about withholding American funds unless someone did something for him as vice president. While examining Merrick Butlick Garland, the Attorney General of the corrupt Washington, D.C. Attorney General Office, Department of Justice, Representative Troy Nehls played the video of Joe Biden in public bragging about threatening Ukraine until they fired Viktor Shokin or he wouldn't give them the money. And so Nehls gave him hell. He raised hell. He said, pay attention, sir. Shouted that at Garland. And he wanted him to see this quid pro quo. You're going to do something for me, or I'm not going to do something for you. And so Representative Nehls said this, Mr. Attorney General. I wouldn't have called him Mr. He's a fucking public servant, and he is failing. But he was polite. He said, Mr. Attorney General, what you just saw was Joe Biden in his arrogance and his role as the vice president, saying if you don't fire Shokin, the United States is not giving the $1 billion loan. Why would Joe Biden say that? This is what Nehls asked Merrick Garland. Was it policy? Was it our policy at the time? Yes or no? Well, Butlick did not want to answer that. So Nehls shouted at him, it wasn't, right? Actually, he didn't even give Merrick Garland a chance to answer. Representative Jerry No Nads Nadler did his best to interrupt. And I tell you what, Nehls jumped his shit. And you know what he said to him? Pipe down! Folks, the decorum is gone. So Representative Nehls continued. He said, Joe Biden threatened the Ukrainian president and their prime minister. Threatened them to fire Shokin. If that is not quid pro quo, sir, what is? It's bribery and it's impeachable. Are you going to do something about it? And once again, folks, before Merrick Garland even got a chance to lie, Nehls said, I bet not, which is why you, sir, also need to be impeached. Now, folks, the Republicans have gone this far. They've started the impeachment inquiry process. They're bringing in people. They're putting evidence on the table. The Republicans have crossed the line. They've exposed the information at a new level, well, that you and I have discussed for years. But now, for most Americans, it's new. So what's next? It may as well be impeachment and prosecution for all parties involved. Are we going to have new details and new witnesses to every crime Joe Biden has done, paraded through the House, through Congress? Probably. Once you cross this line, wherever that line is it far away? Is it close to you? Whatever that line is, once you cross it, you can't go back. The Democrats crossed a lot of lines getting here, folks. Now the Republicans are crossing lines. Is Joe Biden going to allow this to continue? Are the powers that be going to allow this to continue? Or are we going to get false flags? Weird, wacky stuff. Distractions, gaslighting times a million. Is that coming for us? It very well may be, folks. It very well may be. Once they start lying, they've already demonstrated they can lie, and lie big. A huge lie was 9/11. I think the evidence is irrefutable. Once they start lying, there's no stopping. They crossed that line decades ago. Once they start lying, why not just keep going? And they're going to. Once they start false flags, once they've done one, hell, do a bunch. Do a bunch. Look at Handy Sook. Look at the April 15th Boston bombing. All of the amazing video and work that people did exposing these lies, these false flags, has been swept, wiped, eliminated, pulled off the internet. Pulled off the fucking internet. You think they're not going to stop lying now? They're going to be like, oh man, you caught me. All right, send me to jail. No, they're going to lie more and they're going to commit more heinous acts. All right, let's do this. Let's do some more of your questions down below. What do we got? Who has something out there and it's name redacted? And name redacted says, John, remember history? Oh, a little bit. He said World War II was rape of Nanking, China. This is the rape of the United States of America. It is. They are robbing not only the people, you and me, the free people, you and me. Not only are they raping us, but they're raping the 50 sovereign states. The United States of America, the word state is synonymous with country, right? Secretary of State. Well, which state does the Secretary of State represent? Well, the Secretary of State represents the state of the forum, whatever the government is. There's a Secretary of State at every national state here. In other words, every single state in the Union is a country. And it has, by right, the ability to exist because of the population that supports it. Right? It's sovereign, shall we say, citizenry. We're not only raping the people, they're raping every state. And it's going to continue until people are hurt so bad that they have to fight back. And people in government think they're going to get away with it. People in the Democrat Party think it's fucking cute to see you and I and our children hurt. They think it's fucking funny, humorous that we're being wiped out. And how many of these bastards are willing to allow themselves to be wiped out as long as it kills us? As long as it destroys not only the people, but the 50 states which make up the Union. I don't think most people think the way you and I do. That, yeah, each state is its own country. And it has, by right, the right to exist. Because the people want it so. And they're destroying and tearing all of that down. They would love to destroy all 50 states. What am I talking about? Removal of state governments and insert instead federal Washington, D.C. governors who govern over entire swaths, geographic areas that were once states. So that those states have their identities removed and the people have their identities removed as Texans, as Dakotans, as Carolinians. They want that removed. So you are a person under control of the governor in FEMA District 4. That's what they want, folks. That's what they're after. Anyways, great call, name redacted. Let's move on if we shall. We got Heidi back. H12 says, Trump couldn't drain the swamp, but he made me at least aware of how bad it really is. Yes, he did. Oh, Trump's done a lot of great stuff. My criticisms of him are well earned. But I don't think he's the savior. Until we're saved. And I'll be like, oh, okay, he's the savior. Good job. But what he did do is he caused so much pain, angst, and bullshit for the left that we observed and saw, holy crap, look how evil this government really is. Yes, the federal government, the Washington, D.C. government is evil. It is not good. If it was good, would it be giving over $100 billion to a country so that they commit self-genocide by throwing themselves into the weapons of a superior military? How is that good to do? While the people in charge of said government proclaim, this is the best money ever spent. Is the government good when it attacks people wanting to be free and then locking them in jail after killing numbers of them for no crime at all? How is that a good government? It's not good internationally. It's not good nationally. How is this a good government when it uses its bureaucracies to punish, intimidate, and murder people? How is that good? Show me the fucking good that Washington, D.C. and its minions do. They take our money from us under threat of force, and they give it to illegals who they allow into the country after being told, no, your job, federal government, is to protect the border, to keep it sealed so only people come here who should be here. Oh, man. Anyways, thank you, Heidi. Thank you. I want to prove a point. We're almost 1 hour into the show. 1 hour into the show. Since I checked last, things have happened. Poland, who just a few weeks ago, and for the last year before that, was screaming and yelling that they needed to support and send more planes. They threatened Germany. You will send more planes, more tanks, more this, more that into Ukraine. Well, now Poland's decided to stop supplying weapons to Voldemort, Zelensky, and Ukraine. Why? Because of their ungratefulness and their bullshit entitlement. That's right. This arrogant little light in the loafers, skinny jeans wearing, fruit salad butt pirate called Voldemort Zelensky has pissed everyone off, including even Poland, who said he's gone too far. You bet. That has happened. That's been reported just since we started the show. And this happens all day long, folks. Every single day. It's not just a little bit of stuff. It is big, powerful crap going on. And it's off the hook. Are you prepared? Go to thepreparedmind.club. I know you guys that are here live right now. You can go there because you have gone there. You signed up for the premium channel. $2 a month. That's it. I wish we had more people doing that. And also going to the preparedmind.club. To what? Pick out things you need. Find what you need. Whether you call them survival options or prepping options, there's different options there for getting the items you need. the supplies you need, whether it's food or water or self-defense related, energy, communications gear, whatever. We don't have a store. We don't have a warehouse. Just go there and you can check shit out. Shop for yourself. Get prepared. And I'm now going to call an end to this. We're done. We're absolutely done. Chance favors the prepared mind. It is yours. Godspeed. Semper Fi. I'll be back bright and early. 0 Dark 30. It won't be bright. It'll be grim and dark. But I'll be back early. And then tomorrow night is going to be the Friday free for all. I'll see you then.